going into another video here. And again, I welcome you to my channel with open heart, and I ask that you keep an open mind. These teachings are for you to learn if you choose to accept them. If not, that's fine too. But the information is here if you do want to. So today's video is going to be about indigo children. We're also going to talk about crystal children, rainbow children. This is a topic I really didn't get too heavily into in the past, and I think it's time. And I also wanted to talk about a couple of other topics that came to mind that are very important in spirituality as well. So let's go into the spiritual auras and get into this a little bit deeper. So first of all, let's talk about indigo children. I know for a fact that many people out there, they will have an aura reading, or they may have somebody view their aura, and that person will tell them, well, you know, your aura is pink and yellow. And then that person is like, well, wait a minute, I have all of the traits of an indigo child. I really felt that I was indigo. And the person is left feeling even more confused than they began, because they know that they resonate with those traits. So in this, is it wrong, the aura reading, or is the person making reservations about what they think they are already? Well, I can say this much. First of all, your aura is always changing, okay? It changes with your vibrations of thoughts, with the vibrations of your emotions. It changes with your spiritual inclination. So if you're feeling extra connected to spirit that day, the color and vibration is going to change. Also, you know, if somebody else that has a stronger aura sits on down next to you, or you cross them in the aisle at the grocery store, your energy may be overpowered and overdominated by theirs, and it's definitely going to change in vibration, because when you mix the vibrations, it creates another vibration. So in that, the aura is ever changing, and so it's not the aura that we're looking for. So first of all, if any of you have had soul readings with me before, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But for those of you who haven't, in my readings, I always give a little background explanation of things. I want people to have that full understanding, because to me, it's not just a reading. Your soul is serious. It should never be lied to. You're going to take this information with you in that programming that is your soul, even when you leave here. It's infinite. Who wants to float around in spirit realm having a bunch of misinformation that's going to get them lost? Nobody. And I certainly don't want to be the person to do that, because like I said, I care about people. Your soul, it's so beautiful. No matter what you've done in life, no matter the mistakes that you've made, no matter the little feelings that this world has created in you from time to time, you're a beautiful light. The Creator made you. The Creator thinks of you every day. That's why you exist. And because of that, you're special. So you need the truth. And that's why I put it in the readings too. It's like a little mini lesson with your information as well to help you along. So with that being said, in the reading, I'm talking about the light rays. Now, when you're created from your spiritual parent, they're taking that essence of light from themselves, and they will belong to a very specific light ray. Now, with Michael, he kind of mans all of the rays. There's a couple of angelic beings and creators that do work with all of the rays, and then there's one specific angelic creator that is made of all of those rays. So either they have access to them, or they're created out of them. Now in that, angels, deities, they will all master a very specific light ray. Usually they will. And they will have a legion of energy that is attached to that. That could be other souls in their legion that are also in that ray of light. But it goes in a line of a spectrum. So for an example, when light travels further away from its source, it always tends to lengthen and slow down. So let's say, for an example, we'll use Archangel Jophiel. Her energy is like a golden divine energy. So as it's traveling and it is starting to go forward, it's going to start to lengthen that vibration out, and it's going to change that frequency of gold, eventually to where you could get into really deep hues of orange, or you could end up getting into really bright hues of yellow, even almost white yellow. So the vibration changes, but it still leaves you in that light ray. So if you're created by Jophiel, your energy depends on if you're created, what dimension you're created in, what vibration it is. Your soul will have its very own connection to Jophiel through that ray of light. Now, if you're sent to planet Earth and you have other experiences in between time, your energy could definitely change. So let's say that you went to Pleiades, for an example, after you were created with that golden ray of Jophiel. As you're being sent, first of all, when you're created, you'll have your own vibration of that ray. And then as you're being sent into another location to have that experience, in that experience, you're picking up new wisdom, you're picking up new perceptions of different wisdom, you're picking up the teachings of that society and civilization, and in that, it adds to the consciousness, so it can amplify it, or there could be mistakes that are made in other scenarios that lessen that vibration. So that is how your consciousness comes to be the color that it's going to be. So that's your soul. The soul itself is a spirit of light, and it will manifest into an image, or it could incarnate into another image itself for the experience to fit into it. So like in Pleiades, they usually use their entire energies for the experience, but when you come to Earth, some beings, they don't want to take all their energy. They want to concentrate and focus on this experience here. So they leave the higher self up there, and they give themselves the opportunity to relearn and to only focus on what's being presented to them here. And that is most of the scenario for most souls that are on planet Earth. So in that, your energy could have started out as gold, but then you could have transcended into a totally different color ray through your journey and through the experiences and the wisdom that you've picked up along the way. So that will define your ray of light. But when you incarnate into that human body, that consciousness, that ray of light, as it's using the vessel, it starts to emit its thoughts and feelings, its reactions to the reality that it's witnessing, and that is when you will get the aura. So when we talk about indigo children, are we talking about the aura, or are we actually talking about the ray of light? Well, we're talking about the ray of light, because anybody's aura, like I said, is going to change. Those that are indigo children are of that indigo light ray. And the reason why they're so very important is because, number one, they are more spiritually sensitive because they have a mixture of the blue and violet rays mixed together. They're more towards like that royal blue type of coloring. And we know that blue is all about compassion. It's all about sensitivity, intuition, empathy, sympathy. And then when you get into those purple vibrations and frequencies, we're looking at supreme psychic, spiritual wisdom and knowledge. Now, when you come to Earth, your levels of psychic ability could definitely change. But as a consciousness and a soul out there, elsewhere, that energy itself is going to be extremely sensitive, and you're going to have a lot of spiritual wisdom and knowledge because of the creator that you come from. Because, going back to the soul parent, your soul parent is that ray of light, because it's in that ray of light that they carry the attributes that the creator has given them, or their perception of the creator's energy. And it works through that prism. So through that, they are delivering that to any souls that they create, and then they're adding it, transcending it, and changing it throughout that course of their experience. So you will have a lot of spiritual wisdom and insight, because those that are of that violet ray are coming from Archangel Zadkiel. And Zadkiel is the angel of divine sacred wisdom. He carries the answers and that inner connection, because violet is close to that extremely high ray of ultraviolet ray. It's just one step below that. So it's a very fast vibration. It picks up on information very quickly. It learns very fast, and it stores that information so very quickly that it's often never lost. So you're bringing the wisdom with you when you incarnate here, as that violet indigo soul is coming into this physical vessel in order to experience the world around it. So you will have your spiritual wisdom, you'll have probably ESP, you'll have a whole lot of spiritual sensitivity, empathy, you'll go for the underdog, you'll be so sympathetic in nature, and you won't be able to focus because you're super fast in your vibration. Like I said, violet is only one step down from ultraviolet, so it's a very quick frequency. And people that are indigo children, it's not because their aura is indigo, it's because their consciousness is. And if you have an indigo consciousness, it's going to be very difficult for you to be able to focus or pay attention in school because you're going to be everywhere all at once. You're going to be trying to learn this. You're going to want to learn that. So it's not so much as like having attention deficit disorder. It's more or less having an energy to where you want to learn everything that you possibly can in that limited amount of time. And you feel so limited by the surroundings. You know, for an example, we don't do good in school. I used to be indigo. I have now transcended, but that's another topic. But in any case, in school, I can remember that I never could keep up with the class. I was always way ahead of them. They were always like, wow, she's done already. And I'm like, what's next? What's next? And they're like, no, you have to wait. And it's like, oh, I just want to learn something new. Throw it at me. And because of that, you know, that extra time that I had after completing and finishing everything left me with idle time. So what am I supposed to do? I know, like my son who is an indigo, he'll sit there, he'll complete his work, and then he'll start looking around the room while all the other kids are working. The teacher will say, what are you looking at? Put your head down, stop snooping, or something like that. And he's uncomfortable because he doesn't know what to do with himself. What's he supposed to just sit there and look down at the desk? No, he's supposed to, you know, be aware. So that's what he's doing. He's looking around. He's, you know, trying to find something to focus in on because his mind isn't being stimulated. So children like that really do need a lot of stimulation. Even indigo adults need some too. They need to be able to take part in a lot of projects. They have to constantly be kept busy. They have a wonderful sense of focus when they're focusing on many things.